From the dawn of consciousness, before the rigid structures of formal education took root, before the validation of diplomas and the tangible proof of certificates, humanity found its most profound lessons etched not in stone tablets or bound manuscripts, but woven into the very fabric of narrative. Stories, in their primal simplicity and profound depth, served as the original vessels of wisdom, passed down through generations like precious heirlooms, whispered around crackling fires under the vast expanse of the night sky. These weren't mere entertainments. They were the lifeblood of culture, the invisible threads that bound communities together, transmitting values, beliefs, and the hard-won knowledge of survival and societal harmony from one heart to another. Stories are the oldest form of human wisdom. Long before the rigid structures of textbooks, the formal validation of diplomas, and the tangible proof of certificates, profound and essential lessons about life, survival, and the intricate tapestry of human experience were meticulously passed from one heart to another through the captivating and enduring power of stories. These narratives, woven with threads of experience, emotion, and insight, served as the primary conduits of knowledge, shaping the understanding of generations and laying the foundation for the complex societies we inhabit today. They were the original repositories of collective wisdom, offering guidance, explaining the inexplicable, and fostering a shared understanding of the world. Stories possess an unparalleled ability to shape cultures. They act as the invisible architects of societal norms, values, and traditions, transmitting the essence of a group's identity across time. Through recurring themes, archetypal characters, and moral frameworks, stories instill a sense of belonging, reinforce communal bonds, and provide a blueprint for acceptable behavior. They carry the weight of history, preserving the triumphs and tragedies, the heroes and villains, the beliefs and customs that define a culture's unique character. From ancient myths explaining the origins of the universe, to folk tales imparting moral lessons, to contemporary narratives reflecting societal shifts, stories are the lifeblood of cultural continuity and evolution. Furthermore, stories wield a significant influence in shaping beliefs. They have the power to mold our perceptions of ourselves, others, and the world around us. By presenting specific perspectives, highlighting certain values, and framing events in particular ways, stories can subtly yet profoundly impact our convictions and assumptions. They can inspire faith, ignite prejudice, foster empathy, or cultivate fear. The narratives we consume, whether consciously or unconsciously, contribute to the formation of our ideologies, our understanding of right and wrong, and our fundamental beliefs about human nature and the possibilities of life. On an individual level, stories are deeply transformative. They offer mirrors to our own experiences, providing solace, validation, and new perspectives. By immersing ourselves in the journeys of others, we can gain insights into our own challenges, discover hidden strengths, and explore alternative paths. Stories can ignite our imaginations, fuel our aspirations, and provide the courage to confront our fears. They can teach us about resilience, compassion, and the complexities of the human condition, enriching our inner lives and shaping the individuals we become. Indeed, a single story, told at the precise and pivotal moment, can possess the extraordinary power to shift the trajectory of a life. A chance encounter with a particular narrative, a resonating anecdote shared in conversation, or a profound tale discovered in the pages of a book can spark a new way of thinking, challenge long-held assumptions, and inspire a fundamental change in direction. Such stories can act as catalysts for self-discovery, providing the necessary impetus to break free from limiting beliefs, pursue dormant dreams, or embrace a previously unimaginable future. The right story, at the right time, can illuminate a hidden path, offer a crucial piece of wisdom, or simply provide the emotional resonance needed to initiate significant personal growth. And this story could be the one that changes yours. This isn't just a story about someone else. It's about you. It's about the silent strength buried deep inside you. The strength overshadowed by fear, paralyzed by doubt, and muted by the noise of the world. This is about the version of you that has always wanted to rise, but hasn't yet found the right push. There once was a person, an ordinary human being, much like yourself. someone born into a world seemingly defined by limitations, burdened by societal expectations, and confined by invisible walls of perceived possibility. Yet, within the innermost sanctuary of his heart, an extraordinary dream had been planted, a vision so compelling, so deeply resonant, that the world around him, with its ingrained skepticism and conventional wisdom, was perhaps not yet ready to comprehend its potential. Nevertheless, this dream had taken root so firmly that he could no longer ignore its persistent call, its insistent whisper urging him toward a different reality. He wasn't born into the advantageous circumstances of wealth, the established influence of status, or the unearned benefits of privilege. His beginnings were characterized by quietude, his immediate world relatively small and unassuming. However, the confines of his external circumstances did not extend to the boundless expanse of his mind. Within the realm of his thoughts and imagination, there were no such limitations. Every night, as he lay in the stillness of his bed, his gaze fixed upon the seemingly blank canvas of the ceiling, he saw something profoundly different from the mundane reality that surrounded him. While the rest of the world surrendered to the oblivion of sleep, his mind embarked on intrepid journeys into the uncharted territories of the future. He vividly imagined a life where his inherent potential was not merely a fleeting and abstract thought, a tantalizing possibility that remained perpetually out of reach, but rather a tangible and vibrant lived reality, a testament to his capabilities and aspirations. But the world, in its intricate and often challenging design, isn't typically in the business of passively handing out dreams on silver platters. Instead, it often operates as a crucible, a testing ground designed to evaluate the mettle and resilience of those who dare to harbor such aspirations. The path to realizing one's potential is rarely smooth or effortless. It is often fraught with obstacles and setbacks that serve to refine and strengthen the dreamer. And so, life, in its characteristic manner, presented him with its initial test. It introduced him to the experience of failure, not as a singular, isolated event that could be easily dismissed, but as a recurring theme, a persistent challenge that seemed to shadow his every endeavor. Jobs were lost, doors of opportunity were firmly closed in his face, and even the bonds of friendships, once seemingly unbreakable, began to fray and dissolve. Each instance of failure acted like relentless waves crashing against a stone, gradually chipping away at the edifice of his confidence, eroding his self-belief, and leaving him feeling increasingly vulnerable and disheartened. And with every perceived setback, every disappointment, came the insidious whispers of doubt, the chorus of negativity that seemed to emanate from both within and without. You can't achieve your aspirations. You lack the necessary skills, the inherent talent, the required resources. You're simply not good enough. Others are more capable, more deserving, more likely to succeed. That dream you hold so dear is far too ambitious, too grand, too unattainable for someone with your background, your limitations, your circumstances. But even amidst this cacophony of discouraging voices, there existed another voice, a subtle yet profoundly resilient inner conviction. This voice was quieter, often drowned out by the louder pronouncements of doubt and fear, but it possessed an unshakable quality, a deep-seated certainty that refused to be extinguished. Success is not a final destination, a point of ultimate arrival after which there are no further challenges. Similarly, failure is not a definitive end, a terminal point from which there is no possibility of recovery or future achievement. What truly matters, what ultimately determines one's trajectory, is the unwavering courage to continue, to persevere in the face of adversity, to rise again after each fall. And so, despite the accumulating weight of setbacks and the persistent whispers of doubt, he made the conscious decision to stand back up. Not once, as a fleeting act of defiance, but again and again, with a renewed sense of determination each time he stumbled. This act of repeated resilience became a defining characteristic of his journey, a testament to his inner strength and his refusal to be defined by his failures. Most people, caught in the external drama of life, tend to believe that the primary struggle is against the tangible obstacles presented by the world, the competitive marketplace, the skeptical critics, the unforeseen circumstances. But the profound truth, often overlooked, is that the first and most significant war is invariably internal. It is the battle waged within the confines of our own minds against the insidious forces of self-doubt and limiting beliefs. Doubt, with its corrosive whispers of inadequacy. Fear, with its paralyzing grip on our potential. Comparison, with its insidious tendency to diminish our achievements and amplify our perceived shortcomings. These are the formidable enemies that often appear long before the external world even becomes aware of our aspirations, before we even dare to voice our ambitions. The fear of initiating the journey, the fear of appearing foolish in the eyes of others, the fear of navigating the path alone. These internal anxieties often speak with a far more persuasive and debilitating voice than any future applause or external validation could ever hope to counter. But in the profound darkness of those introspective nights, as he sat alone with nothing but the swirling currents of his own thoughts, a powerful and enduring truth resurfaced in his consciousness, a guiding principle that served as a beacon of hope. The only true and insurmountable limit to the full realization of our potential, to the achievement of the extraordinary possibilities that lie within our grasp, is the pervasive and often self-imposed doubt that clouds our judgment and undermines our belief in ourselves today. Armed with this renewed understanding, he resolved to take action, however small. He didn't attempt a dramatic leap, a sudden and overwhelming transformation. He didn't embark on a frantic sprint toward his distant goal. Instead, he focused on the power of incremental progress, on the significance of simply taking one small step forward. And then, having taken that initial step, he took another, and then another. Each small act of forward movement, however insignificant it may have seemed in isolation, began to generate a sense of momentum, a tangible feeling of progress. And as he persisted in this steady and deliberate manner, the smallest of victories began to accumulate, like individual drops of water gradually forming a significant stream. Each minor triumph, each small step of progress, served as a powerful and tangible reminder of his inherent capabilities. Whatever the human mind can clearly conceive, can passionately believe in, and can wholeheartedly commit to, it possesses the inherent capacity to ultimately achieve. Fueled by these early successes, his belief in himself began to grow, steadily and organically. His initial flicker of hope matured into a more robust and unwavering confidence. However, the world, in its relentless pursuit of testing the human spirit, was far from finished with him. The journey toward realizing his dreams was not destined to be a linear ascent. Just as the heavy fog of self-doubt began to dissipate, allowing a clearer vision of his potential to emerge, the external world reasserted itself, presenting a new array of challenges designed to test the strength of his resolve. Rejection, in its various forms, became a familiar companion. Loss, both personal and professional, cast its shadow over his path, and a profound sense of loneliness often enveloped him, particularly during moments when he yearned for understanding and support. When he needed the presence and encouragement of others the most, they seemed to inexplicably vanish, their support proving to be ephemeral. When he actively sought out sources of guidance and assistance, he often found himself in metaphorical empty rooms, his pleas for help echoing unanswered. And when he dared to articulate his vision, to share the nascent form of his extraordinary dream with those around him, he was often met with skepticism, ridicule, and outright laughter. But within the quiet solitude of those challenging times, an unexpected and profound strength began to take root and grow within him. He gradually came to a crucial realization that sometimes the absence of external applause, the lack of immediate validation from others, can paradoxically serve as the greatest and most potent motivator. It forces one to rely on their own internal compass, to cultivate an intrinsic drive that is not dependent on external affirmation. And in those moments of quiet reflection, he would often recall a powerful and encouraging sentiment. It always seems utterly impossible, an insurmountable obstacle, until the very moment it is finally accomplished. The realization of the seemingly unattainable often comes with a surprising sense of inevitability once the hard work and perseverance have borne fruit. And so, undeterred by the lack of external support or the presence of ridicule, he resolutely pressed on, fueled by his inner conviction and the unwavering belief in his own vision. In a world increasingly characterized by an obsession with instant gratification, a relentless pursuit of immediate results and fleeting pleasures, he gradually learned the profound and often underestimated value of quiet, patient, and largely invisible work. He understood that true and lasting achievement is rarely the result of overnight success, but rather the culmination of consistent effort and dedication over time. While others around him succumbed to the myriad distractions of the modern world, endlessly scrolling through the ephemeral content of social media or seeking instant amusement, he diligently devoted his time to focused study and continuous learning. While others indulged in the comfort and ease of extended sleep, he deliberately chose to build his skills and pursue his goals during the less convenient hours, embracing the discomfort of disciplined effort. And when faced with setbacks and challenges that caused others to abandon their pursuits, he cultivated the crucial ability to endure, to persevere through adversity, and to maintain his unwavering commitment. The sacrifices he made often felt isolating. The path he had chosen sometimes seemed narrow and solitary. But through these experiences, he had come to understand a fundamental truth about the nature of achievement. Hard work, consistently applied and diligently pursued, will invariably triumph over inherent talent if that talent remains undisciplined, uncultivated, and unwilling to exert the necessary effort. And so, with unwavering determination and painstaking effort, brick by metaphorical brick, he began to lay the solid foundation for the life he had so vividly imagined. It was a vision that, in its initial stages, was often met with disbelief and skepticism by those around him, a future that no one else seemed to truly believe was possible. Yet, from the initial impetus of proving others wrong to the ultimate satisfaction of proving yourself right, in the nascent stages of his journey, a significant portion of his internal fuel, the driving force that propelled him forward in the face of adversity, originated from a desire to prove wrong the naysayers, the doubters, the critics who had confidently declared, "You'll never make it." The sting of their disbelief, the dismissive nature of their pronouncements, served as a potent source of motivation, a burning desire to defy their low expectations. But somewhere along the arduous and transformative journey, a profound and significant shift occurred in his internal landscape. The primary focus of his efforts began to subtly yet decisively change. It gradually ceased to be solely about validating himself in the eyes of those who had doubted him. Instead, the emphasis shifted inward, becoming increasingly centered on his own personal growth, his own internal standards of success, and his own intrinsic sense of fulfillment. He came to a profound realization that the truest and most enduring measure of success is not found in the fleeting satisfaction of external validation or the temporary gratification of proving others wrong. Instead, it resides in the deep and lasting sense of self-fulfillment that arises from pursuing one's own authentic path, from striving to become the best version of oneself, and from aligning one's actions with one's deepest values and aspirations. And as his unique path unfolded, marked by both challenges and triumphs, an interesting phenomenon began to occur. Others, witnessing his unwavering commitment and the tangible results of his perseverance, began to follow. However, he understood that true leadership is not merely about accumulating followers or wielding authority. Genuine leadership is fundamentally about having the courage and conviction to walk the chosen path first, to demonstrate through one's own actions the possibilities that exist, and to inspire others through the authenticity of one's journey. He often reflected on the powerful words that resonated deeply with his own experience. The individuals who possess the seemingly audacious and perhaps even unconventional perspective to believe that they have the capacity to effect meaningful change in the world are often the very ones who ultimately succeed in doing so. It is this unwavering belief in the possibility of transformation, coupled with the courage to act upon that belief, that drives innovation and progress. He also came to understand that the reality of true success often differs significantly from the glamorous and often superficial portrayals presented by the world. It is rarely a constant state of exhilaration and public acclaim. Instead, it often involves periods of quiet dedication, intense focus, and even a degree of isolation as one navigates the unique challenges of high achievement. True success, in its essence, offers no inherent comfort or ease. Its primary reward lies in the continuous process of personal growth and the expansion of one's capabilities. At the summit of any significant achievement, there are rarely throngs of cheering crowds or the immediate gratification of widespread applause. Instead, there is often a profound sense of stillness, a moment of quiet reflection, as one contemplates the journey undertaken and the heights reached. And it was in the profound stillness of those metaphorical high places, those moments of solitary contemplation after periods of intense effort, that he began to grapple with a fundamental question. Beyond the external markers of achievement, beyond the accolades and the recognition, what is the deeper purpose that underlies my endeavors? Why am I truly here, pursuing this particular path? The answer that gradually emerged from this introspection was as profoundly insightful as it was elegantly simple. The two most significant and transformative days in a person's life are not merely the day of their physical birth into the world. The second, equally crucial day is the moment they come to a deep and personal understanding of their unique purpose, the reason for their existence, the contribution they are meant to make to the world. He realized that his driving force had never truly been about the accumulation of material wealth, the fleeting validation of public applause, or the superficial allure of social status. Instead, his deepest motivation stemmed from a profound connection to other people, a desire to make a meaningful difference in their lives. His ultimate aim was to reach those individuals who would one day encounter his story, and through it, recognize the latent strength and untapped potential that resided within their own hearts. He hoped that his experiences, both the triumphs and the setbacks, would serve as a source of inspiration and encouragement for others to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and achievement. He understood that the world would not necessarily remember him for any tangible trophies he might have acquired or any fleeting moments of public recognition. Instead, his lasting legacy would be defined by his unwavering resilience in the face of adversity, his consistent dedication to his goals, and his steadfast refusal to succumb to the temptation of quitting, even when the path ahead seemed impossibly challenging. He had come to embody and live by a simple yet powerful truth. You inevitably miss 100% of the opportunities, the chances for growth, the potential for success that you fail to actively pursue, that you don't take a shot at. And now the torch of possibility, the potential for transformation, passes directly to you, the individual currently reading these very words. The same undercurrents of fear, the same insidious whispers of doubt may reside within you. The same fear lives in you, but so does the same strength. The choice is yours, to step forward or to stay where you are, to rise or to retreat. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you've imagined is the decision you make today. And the world is waiting for your story.